Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. Got a story I want to talk to you about. It is a follow up to the video short that I showed earlier with the Wally World transitioning to sensors to open the cold cases and other things. So I want to show you that this has been a long term process. It's been gradual and slow, so we wouldn't notice it. But during the a lot of things they just went full circle, and that was, in my opinion, the reason for the for 3 years lockdown and all these changes, because these governments and businesses and different organizations are transitioning to digitizing everything just the way that we've done business and lived for as long as this nation has been here. So check this article out. This article was published in 2019. It's from AP News. It says Walmart experiments with AI to monitor stores in real time. So one thing I want you to keep in mind is they were putting this stuff in stores, and they say it was to monitor the store in real time, but they never ask permission if people in the community want it. They don't do any focus groups to talk to the people in the community and get their views on it. They just do it, and then people, because they are so comfortable, or they like the comfort and ease of going into these stores in their communities, they don't care about the future inconveniences. They just care about right now. And so at the end of this article, it's going to be really something astounding that I want to harp on. So one more thing I want you to pay attention to is how these corporations and changes are happening in large cities in states like California and New York. So this Walmart experiment took place in New York prior to the, and then they ended up rolling it out after the started in 2020, 2021. So if you go to a Walmart and you see that they have a lot of cashierless options, it's because they tried this out earlier prior to and right at the beginning of the, and now here we are with bunches of stores with no people to help us. All right. So this was in Levittown, New York. Who's minding the store? In the not too distant future, it could be cameras and sensors that tell almost instantly when bruised bananas need to be swapped for fresh ones, and more cash registers need to open before lines get too long. Well, they don't care about lines getting long now, because all you got are cashierless options, and if you don't like those, you just leave. Walmart, which faces fierce competition from Amazon and other online retailers, is experimenting with digitizing its physical stores to manage them more efficiently, keep costs under control, and making the shopping experience more pleasant. On Thursday, the retail giant officially opened its intelligent retail lab inside a 50,000 square foot neighborhood market grocery store on Long Island. Notice they keep practicing putting this stuff in the PC communities, because the PC people, they don't really understand that this global enslavement is going to include them. They just think everything is a nice, easy, comfortable convenience. But when they wake up and find out they're going to be imprisoned just like the rest of us, I assume a lot of people are going to be okay with it, because their mindset has been conditioned to only think about comfort, and that's it. Thousands of cameras suspend from the ceiling. Thousands. So when we go into Walmart, we are under surveillance from the time we get out of our car till the time we go back to our car. And all this data is just being stored. And I'll show it to you. So thousands of cameras suspended from the ceiling, combined with other technology like sensors on shelves, will monitor the store in real time so workers can quickly replenish products or fix other problems. The technology, shown first to the Associated Press, will also be able to spot spills, track when shelves need to be restocked, and know when shopping carts are running low. Cameras, for example, can determine how ripe bananas are from their color, and workers will get an alert on their phone if they need to be replaced. So remember how I was telling you about how this all this digitalization is going to require you to have some type of mobile device or technology to connect to the internet. This is how it's going to work. Walmart's deep dive into artificial intelligence in its physical stores comes as Amazon raised the stakes in the grocery business with its purchase of Whole Foods Market nearly 2 years ago. That's put more pressure on Walmart and other traditional retailers like Kroger and Albertsons to pour more money into technology in their stores. At the same time, they're trying to keep food prices down and manage expenses. Amazon has been rolling out cashierless Amazon Go stores, which have shelf sensors that track the 1,000 products on their shelves. So, this has been a long process. It's been gradual, but they always put these things in places where liberal minded, kind of selfish, oblivious people live who are easy to trick and are accustomed to living a certain way because they like comfort. And so that's why my theme is learn how to be uncomfortable, because it's going to be a resounding theme throughout this decision to not take these marks. Walmart online US sales are still a fraction of Amazon's online global merchandise empire, which reached 122.98 billion last year, and this was in 2018. But Walmart says more than 140 million US shoppers visit a store in person or online per week, creating a treasure trove of data. In its latest fiscal year ended January 31st, Walmart generated more than 500 billion in overall sales globally. That's a lot of money that is going out of the pockets of mom and pop stores. So they forced all these mom and pop stores in our communities to close, got us to think that they offer cheaper prices, got us to disregard our local, entrepreneurs who offered us a service for, decades sometimes. Those people went out of business. And so now there's no competition. And so it's going to be very difficult to compete against these stores now because they have the supply chains locked down where little small mom and pops really have to struggle to compete. But it's not impossible. And that should be something that my listeners should be thinking about. Wherever you live, you should be having an alternative to these types of businesses who want your data. The one thing you can always say that will sell people is you don't collect data. You don't want data. You're not selling data. You're not tracking anyone. And that's going to be attractive to a lot of people. Walmart hopes to start scaling some of the new technology at other stores in the next 6 months with an eye toward lower cost and thus lower prices. As the shopping experience improves, the retailer expects to see higher sales. So another thing that they did when this administration and during the 45 years, President 45, you know how the Democrats were promoting the higher minimum wage? Well, these stores like Walmart, what they did was they said, yeah, we'll give them a minimum wage. We'll give them a higher minimum wage. That lasted for all of a year, maybe. And then they got rid of all these people, installed all this stuff that they had been working on anyway. So now they don't have to pay nobody nothing. So it doesn't matter if a cashier wants $15 or $20 an hour. She's going to be at home or at the unemployment office because the machine is going to do it, and they don't have to pay the machine an hourly rate. They don't have to pay payroll taxes. They don't have to do any, paperwork or none of that stuff. Work around its schedule. It works all the time, except for when it breaks and they have a mechanic come in and fix it, and it gets back up and does what it needs to do. So their bottom lines are going to increase astronomically because there are going to be so many people who don't care and who don't see the big picture, not realizing that the more we patronize these businesses, the more that we go to these stores, the more that these, other companies will use this technology. And before you know it, we won't have jobs. We will be using universal basic income to consume from these stores, and we're going to be tracked. So, then you'll have your programmable digital wallet and your money, and you can buy but certain things with your money. And you're only going to get a certain amount. And if you don't know how to make that stretch, then you're just going to be out of luck. Let alone, you're not going to be able to buy meat. We already know that's going to be off the table. We really like to think of this store as an artificial intelligence factory, a place where we are building these products, experiences where we are testing and learning, said Mark Hanrahan, the CEO of Walmart's Intelligent Retail Lab and co-founder of Jet.com, purchased by Walmart 3 years ago. Hanrahan says the cameras are programmed to focus primarily on the products and shelves right now. Notice they say right now. This was in 2019. Sensors embedded in shelves will give the store extra information because they know what's at the back of the shelves that the cameras can't see. Cameras do not recognize faces, determine the ethnicity of a person picking up a product, or track the movement of shoppers, he says. Some other companies have recently started experimenting with store shelf cameras that try to guess shoppers' ages, genders, and moods. That's interesting. There are signs throughout the neighborhood market educating shoppers about how it is being used as a lab. Still, the cameras raise privacy concerns. Machine learning fundamentally finds and matches patterns, said Stephen M. Bellovin, a computer science professor at Columbia University and a privacy expert who hasn't seen the new Walmart AI lab. But he says companies run into trouble when they start to match behavior to a specific customer. That's why you should stay out of Walmart. And all these stores, basically, that use these sensors, y'all should just stay out of them. Hanrahan says Walmart has made sure to protect shoppers' privacy and emphasized that there are no cameras at the pharmacy, in the front of the restrooms, and employee break rooms. The lab is Walmart's second in a physical store. Last year, Walmart's Sam's Club opened a 32,000 square foot lab store, a quarter of the size of a typical Sam's Club store. The lab is testing new features surrounding the Scan and Go app, which lets customers scan items as they shop and then buy from their phones, skipping the checkout line. And so this is what I was talking about in my other video when I went out of town this week, and I saw people in the store walking around like they were doing Pokemon Go, looking for stuff, looking at their phone. They'll walk down the aisle, they'll find something, they'll scan it, they'll put it in the cart, not realizing what we're going to. Like, these are the pilot programs that are leading us into digitalization. And so many people of all ethnicities, all educational backgrounds are participating in it. And it's just so frustrating that you can't get people to see the harm because they love the convenience. And I just don't know what to say to that. If you use those things, you need to get rid of them. That's just my 2 cents. The Retail Lab is the third project from Walmart's new incubation arm, created after the Jet.com acquisition, as a way for the discounter to shape the future of retail. It follows the launch of Jet Black, a shopping by text service aimed at affluent shoppers in New York. Notice you continue to see the theme of New York. A lot of things are happening in New York. And it reminds me of Soylent Green, because Soylent Green was based in New York, and the year that all the stuff was happening was 2022. So to see what's there now and to know how things are eventually going to end up, whether I'm here or not, is just interesting. And it also makes me wonder if Soylent Green is during the tribulation period, where all these people are poor and destitute. You got to wait on these green scraps, and it's just interesting. But anywho, if you haven't watched Soylent Green, watch Soylent Green. Although it's an old movie, it was made in 1972. If you take out the fact about the artificial technology, which you can also say, it was in there. Everything else, you can easily see happening with the launch of these different technologies, because people are not going to have a way to work. They're not going to have a way to take care of themselves. Walmart's second incubation project was Spatial and a VR tech company. As part of the launch, it's bringing tractor trailers to some of Walmart parking lots so customers can experience DreamWorks animations, how to train your dragon through virtual reality. So you see how they always tie the nice, good, innocent movie entertainment with the demonic piece that they want to institute. You have to pay attention to that. If they're offering you something and it's bad, but it's tied to something, even if it's not tied to anything, you should just be paying attention to how they are presenting it. And they always present it in this lovely, nice, innocent way. Hanrahan says the company is embracing the labs in stores to better understand the real ways that technology affects customers and workers. Like, that don't even make no sense to me. It's just a stupid sentence. But these people will say anything, and that's I won't get into it. But this is the white supremacy piece that where you talk about gaslighting and walking you around in a circle, making you feel like you're crazy. Like, this sentence doesn't make any sense. You want to understand the real ways technology affects customers and workers. We wouldn't have technology if they would stop giving it to us. We were fine without it. They told us we need it and it would make things better for us. But it's not making things better for us. It is making it a police state. Basically, we're living in open air prisons. It also wants to educate shoppers. Walmart has made a point to not hide the technology, and small educational kiosks are set up throughout the neighborhood market. Now, how many people going to stop someplace and read something in the neighborhood market? I ain't never read nothing in the neighborhood market. I saw that stuff and I just kept walking. But what woke me up was when I saw those cashierless checkouts. I was like, oh, wait a minute. You go to the store one week, they're not there. You go to the store the next week, they're there. That woke me up. I started paying attention. I did not need education. I got education. They're about to take over. This whole country is getting ready to be digitized, and folks are not going to have jobs. What are we going to do if we don't have jobs? That was my wake up. Shoppers can peer through a glass-enclosed data center at the back of the store. It houses 9 cooling towers, 100 servers, and other computer equipment that processes all the data. So when we go into these stores have servers that are capturing our data. So yet another reason to stay out of them, because I guess, relinquish your privacy rights when you go into these stores and you agree to allow them to do whatever it is that they want to do with this data. And I have an issue with that, because we didn't sign up for that. We just want to go get some flour and toilet paper and some pepper and come out of the store. You don't want to be on camera and have your photographs shared with some predictive policing software company who sells it all over the world. Like, it's crazy. Despite the signs and visible cameras, many shoppers, included Marcy Seinberg from Wanta, New York, didn't seem to notice or care. I am not bothered by it, Seinberg said. If technology saves me money, I would be interested. So this is the attitude of most people, and this is the part that I want to harp on. This is how you know most people are going to take the mark, because they don't care about the privacy. They don't care what people are going to do with their information. They don't care that it's going to be used eventually to police them with this programmable currency. They don't care. They just say, if it saves them money, I'm going to be interested. You're not going to have no money because they're going to take it. You're only going to have what they give to you or what they allow you to use. And what they don't understand is that it's just a gradual progression. So from 2019, here we are getting ready to go into 2003, 2004. And this is the first year of the New World Order. Next year going to be worse. So, if you think things are going fast now, you ain't seen nothing yet. So, I just wanted to bring this story to you. And I'll also put a link. There was another article here directly from the Walmart site about Walmart putting stuff, this AI and this technology in this lab. So this is the Walmart corporate site. And they have a link here in April of 2015. I'm sorry, April 2019, excuse me, talking about this technology. So they have a video on everything here. So I'm going to also put this in the description so that you can look at it. I'm not going to go through it because it's pretty much a recap of what I said. But it does have a lot more info in here, like about the data. You can see the kiosk. You can see this boy doing virtual reality. You see the cameras on the wall. You can see this lady here giving a customer some stuff off of the shelf. And it just has a really creepy vibe to me. But again, they sell it as something good. So, if you want to understand what the future is going to be like when you shop outside of your home, you need to see these, because even in my little small town, we have curbside now. We only got one grocery store in this whole town, but they've decided to engage in curbside. Like, most people here don't use computers, but everybody, I guess, is going to be using a phone. So you could just see this thing coming, really fast. You go to the store one week, the next week things have changed. It's changing just that quickly. And so we need to stay on top of these types of changes so that we understand how they impact us. But everybody shops because we don't make anything. Most of us don't own stores. And even if we own stores, we have to deal with supply chains. So it's good to know what is coming, so that if you needed to position yourself for a business, if you have some money and you want to do a business where, hey, you got supplies and you want to barter, you don't want to attract people, it's a wonderful opportunity. The sky is the limit. Now, I don't know how things are going to work out for us, because they may decide, oh, you can't do that if you don't do this way, we're going to put you in jail. I don't know what it's going to look like, but in the beginning, especially now, it's a perfect time for somebody to jump into the market and be anti all of that, and to, serve those who don't want to participate in that, who are anti any type of futuristic retail. So that's just my 2 cents. But anywho, I will leave these two stories in the description. But just pay attention to what's happening. When you go into the store, look up, look around. If you see a bunch of self-checkouts, and you can't go in any grocery store now without seeing them. Walmart. They have them in Ingles. They have them in Food Lion. They have them in. I haven't been in Publix in a minute, but I wouldn't be surprised if Publix didn't have any. Yeah, all the grocery stores are doing it, and the more that we use those things, the more that they're gonna, add more. But even in Aldi's, I went to Aldi's one week, and they have regular checkouts. I went back the next week, and they only had like one or two checkout lines. The entire, checkout process is cashierless. So we don't have many places that we can go now and shop where there are human beings. You're going to do your shopping and you're going to do your own bagging of your groceries. And it's really scary because that means people are not going to have jobs. They don't require that many people to stock groceries. And the stocking process, will probably be very limited because people will probably begin to order stuff online. So, in any event, we just need to pay attention to the trends. Try not to use these things. I know it's going to be real hard, but if we don't use them and we reject them, they'll have to take them out because they're going to lose money. If you shop places that don't use these um, technologies, they'll lose money. If it's inconvenient, so what? You know, back in the old days, our folks didn't have cars. They had to walk to the store. They had to, carry a wagon or a basket. So, we just really got to get out of being comfortable and figure this thing out. But understand that this technology is rolling right along. It's not gradual anymore. The testing phases are over. They are ready to implement this, and they have to do it quickly, as you've been hearing. Quickly transitioning is the name of the game now. So pay attention to what's going on in the world, people, because the world is changing, and you don't want to make a mistake and enter into something that you did not plan on it. Not that we're not already entered into it, because we didn't know a lot of this stuff was going on, but it's here now, and we really need to pay attention to our surroundings and not be a part of this matrix. I guess that's the best way to say it. All right, y'all. If you enjoyed this type of content, please like this video, share it, comment, because it helps the algorithms pick it up and send it out amongst the interwebs. Our content is shadow banned. So if you don't comment, don't like it, or share it, it doesn't go anyplace. And this is the type of stuff that people really need to know about. All right, this is Marley K. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I am